The next session, from understanding to impact, building the responsible AI enterprise. Let's start with the use case or the AI projects. We're going to start with the AI project that commonly used in the enterprise and then go specific in the industry. First of all, the most popular use case is we call the fraud detections. Every company has a transaction, especially financial transactions or customer transactions. Sometimes the transaction is fake or is the frauder try to hack into the enterprise. We can use the AI, the traditional AI like machine learning to detect the patterns that anomalies and also detect the fraud before it happens or even the fraud at the applications when the customer try to register or try to apply for the memberships. We also have the machine learnings to detect it. In the generative AI world, we also use generative AI language model to retrieve more than the source of the structured data. We can ask the AI to read the document, assess, pre-screen the document as well. So this is the most popular uh, use case for the fraud detection or the anomaly detections. Let's move to the next one. We call the people analytics or the AI with the people or the employees data. First of all, we can use the machine learning to scan through the resume and identify who gonna be the candidates for the interview. So this is the one that can help the people, employees or the HR department to pick the right candidates. We also can use the AI or the machine learning to find the pattern how to improve the employee performance. If he or she with this grade, with this school, we want to improve him or her into the right way, into the be the superstar in the company. We can learn the patterns, how we adapt the talents in the company and let he or she to attend to the training, to the project that's similar to the one that the talents used to attend in the previous years. Let's move to the next use case. We call the preventive maintenance. In order to use the customer transactions or the people in the company data, we move into the machine data. So the preventive maintenance is we use the machine data. For example, the sensor in the factory, they send the signal to the AI to learn the patterns and identify when the machine gonna fail. For example, the big machine, the big in the factory, if it fail, we're gonna lose the production line. So that is the one that we can use machine learning to detect. For the generative AI similar use case, we can detect more than just a sensor. We can detect the image. We can make in the temperatures based on the video as well. That is the advancement of the generative AI applied to the previous use case before preventive maintenance. There is also the other one that most popular we call the recommendation system. In the past, we do not use AI at all. We just recommend what is the top products in each store, right? After that, we use the machine learning to learn the customer behaviors. So if we buy the product A, that customer gonna buy the product B. That is the one that we apply machine learning in the recommendation system. Nowadays, we can apply generative AI to personalize the script or the personalize the greetings to invite the customer to buy some of the products. To use a language model to help to put the welcome scripts for each of the persons that come to the store or in the email that we talk or we invited by the email. We also have the machine data, which in the machine that include in the car or in the truck. That the machine data we can track the data that movement between point to point. So instead of get the data that is in one point or one locations, but we have the multiple point data. So once we apply the machine learning or the AI into this kind of data, we can understand what is the best route to go to the point A to point B. We can also understand the driver behavior because the driver need to drive every day, right? And then if we track the route, we track the accident, we track the speed, so we can understand the behavior of the driver and we can improve to reduce the accident as well. One of the unique use case that we call the synthetic data is come with the generative AI era. That means we can not need to wait for the data to emerge. We can simulate the data and use it in the lab or in the analysis. For example, right? So when we build the model, right, we need to correct the real data. Let's say the plan in the real data, and we apply an algorithm to get the prediction for the model that if this the plant that we can eat or not. So this is the model that we use image processing to understand the image and also to predict what is the criteria of the plant and how dangerous for the plant. So we get the model easily after we correct the image of the plant for many weeks, right? But when we apply the same model in a different location, for example, in the place that have a snow, the model has been failed because they haven't trained into this image before. In the traditional machine learning development, we need to collect the data again and then train the model again and then validate the model again, and then it could take up to months to develop the model. Instead, we use the previous data that exists in our locations and then add synthetic data as a snow as a background or snow on the leaf of the plants, and then we use that to train the model. Instead of waiting to correct the data from a few weeks or a few months, we can correct the real data within weeks. So the development process in the lab has been faster. So this is similar to the sample that we discover many science methods, include the vaccine or the material science. We use simulated data or synthetic data to speed up the science discovery.